Thank you all for being here this afternoon as we offer a fond farewell to the 48th student member of the board, Anuva Malou. And a warm welcome to the 49th student member of the board, Lul Dewey. Now, you know, before we begin, we have to recognize a few people in the audience. And so as I call your name, please stand. I'm going to start, though, with our former SMOBs. So David Naiman, our very first SMOB. Matt Post. Sammy Saeed. Pranil Suvana. And we are also joined by our state SMOB, Lorena Wu. Okay, now there are a few other people. I'm looking in the audience and I see Mike Durso, former president of the Board of Ed. I see Delegate Greg Wims. Delegate Linda Foley. Now that's all I can see from here. If I missed you, please stand. Okay, I think I've got everybody. All right, so we appreciate you joining us for today's event. Without further ado, I invite to the table Ms. Karen Bushnell, Clerk of the Court for the Circuit Court of Montgomery County, to administer the oath to Mr. Dawee.
Nice to see you again. Okay. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Lul Dewey,
I, Lul Dawee,
do solemnly promise
and declare
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland and support the Constitution and laws thereof
and support the Constitution and laws thereof
and that I will to the best of my skill and judgment diligently and faithfully without partiality or prejudice execute the office of student board member according to the Constitution and laws of this state. Congratulations. Now, you sign right there. You don't have to put your address.
All right, thank you so much.
And then I'll sign, and then you will be official. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Oh, congratulations, Lul. We ask that you come up and join us at the dais. And so at this time, you can offer any remarks you'd like to offer. That's right, put it up there. Put it up there.
Sorry. Good evening, everyone. To the members of the Board of Education, Dr. Taylor, district leaders, principals, educators, family, friends, and fellow students, thank you all so much for being here. Now, for the first of many times I get to say this, my name is Lil Dawit. I'm a rising junior at Northwood High School, and as of just now, I have become Montgomery County's 49th student member of the Board of Education. It really doesn't feel real to get to say those words out loud after years of ambition and giving so much to make it here. I mean, where can I even begin this speech? I could spend this part of the night talking about the policies I hope to champion, the challenges our school system faces, or the promises I want to make for the year ahead. But I have an entire year to prove those things through my actions. At first, I wanted to talk about my story, maybe about my upbringing in MCPS, or maybe my unique perspectives attending DCC schools that may have been historically underserved, or maybe even about how campaigning for better toilet paper in my elementary school's SGA would ultimately get me here. But if I spent the very first few minutes of my tenure talking about me and my story, I would be missing the entire point of this position, because this role was created to give a voice to thousands of others. So tonight, instead of telling you my story, I want to tell you about theirs. Over the past several months, I've had the insane privilege of visiting middle and high schools throughout Montgomery County as part of my campaign. Every building obviously looked different, whether it was the traditions, demographic, mascots, or area, but every single one was filled with stories. Stories of students who would sit alone in class, at lunch, or on the bus, wondering if anyone would notice if they just disappeared from anybody's routine that day. One day. Stories of teachers who arrive hours before the day starts and leave long after the final bell because they believe every single one of their students can succeed. Stories of bus drivers, cafeteria workers, paraeducators, security staff, custodians, and countless others who may never appear in headlines, but whose kindness shapes what being in MCPS feels like every single day. None of these people will know each other, and unfortunately, many of them will never meet. The thing is, those stories don't fit into board agendas. They aren't written into contracts, memos, or policies, but behind all the statistics, votes, and policies we will deliberate going forward into the next year, there are people behind them. Their stories will push me and motivate me to get up every single day, driven to uphold their dreams, passions, and drive to be a part of such a successful educational institution as Montgomery County's next SMOB. Now, for this part, I wanted to highlight the people who aren't in the spotlight, but made this journey all the while. The people whose belief, encouragement, and support has carried me to this very moment. Some have been here since the very beginning, and very beginning as in when I was born, and some joined along the way, but every one of them have left a mark on this journey. Where else could I begin but with my parents? You both have put up with me and the other three of us for well over a decade and a half now, and that alone is a testament to the dedication you have both instilled in me to make it this far. Mom, you have driven me across this county nearly every day for almost 2 to 3 months with little to no notice for, countless days. And I thank you for it. Dad, we still love you, man. Even though, nothing was, on the surface, you still carried everything from the background for this campaign, including getting me this suit just yesterday. And I strive to be that kind of humble going into next year and beyond. My friends, the council, Sam, Ian, and Angelique, you guys were literally the first people to hear about my candidacy for SMOB in 7th grade, even if I was partially joking at that point. And I'll never forget about, joking and bantering about how I'd run against you, Sam. And I'll make sure you get to live that dream through me. Ian and Angelique, you guys were literally there with me up until Election Day, and I will never forget that. My chief of staff for this campaign, Farouk and Leah, you guys brought it home these past 6 months, and the amount of discipline it took to run everything smoothly, while I'm stressing, calling you guys every other day, stressing about what our next plan of action would be, is so commendable, and I look forward to keeping you both as chief of staffs for my advisory council. On that note, Rime, even though you unfortunately couldn't be with us tonight, I truly did look up to you so much and gained so much respect for how you carried yourself even before with MCJC and MCR up until Election Day. It's always amazing to see the Hopstar representation anywhere, especially for something as monumental as SMOB, and I look forward to working with you as another one of my chief of staffs for my advisory council going into next year. You're gonna kill it going into your senior year, and WJ really should be so grateful to have such a personable figure representing them. My campaign team, all 54 of you, regardless of your position or status, led a grassroots movement spanning tens of thousands of students, staff, and faculty in one of the largest educational institutions in the country. I look forward to seeing all of you show up next year throughout my school visits and on my advisory council. my girlfriend, Mariana, who would always make sure that, I'm not overly stressed out from this entire process, who unfortunately couldn't be with us today. I thank you, and I owe the world to you. Sorry. I look forward. Have a great final few days in the Philippines, and then I'll get to introduce you all to the First Lady of the SMOB. Love you. Anuva, you have served as a testament to just how great us DCC SMOBs can be. And your energetic enthusiasm, both online and in person, reassures me that MCPS, without a doubt, made the right choice a year ago. I'm gonna look up to you a lot as a friend, colleague, and to continue sharing the same music taste going into next year. And I just might need to continue that SMOB to UMD pipeline. Congrats, thank you so much. Additionally, on that note, thank you to every single SMOB who has taken the time to give me advice, experience, and support throughout this entire process. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I've emailed every single SMOB from David Naiman up until Anuva to get that kind of advice, because it was just really intriguing to see, how life might have been for any SMOB since then. And on that note, in particular, thank you to Sammy, Pernille, Nate, Matt, Eric, Sebastian, Dustin, and of course, David. And, of course, whether they're watching online or they're here with us tonight, I thank you for making me so proud to join a successful and thriving lineage of SMOBs. That also goes for my fellow SMOBs, who I'm going to be working alongside with across the state, including our state SMOB, and the Prince George's SMOB, who was recently just sworn in this past week, Sydney. And I'm ecstatic to work with you all. A huge community, my Northwood people. Sure, many people wouldn't list Northwood as a top 10 high school in MCPS, but what other school has numerous athletes recognized on the national level? What other school was named best high school in the DMV by 99.5? What other school beat Einstein in football 42-28 after 0 wins since 2018? And now what high school has a SMOB? I thank every single one of you at Northwood, including Dr. Garrick, our fantastic principal, for the amazing staff and students who have been able to be with us tonight, watching or supporting and showing love throughout this entire campaign, for being such a spirited community. My favorite group of Northwood people, however, are my musicians. Mr. Sullivan, you have been the teacher I have told everything about, which includes SMOB. I thank you for being so patient and understanding with me, even when I would have to miss fifth period nearly every single day due to my school visits or, campaign-related events. To my people in symphonic ensemble, marching band, and drumline, you all have been my biggest supporters, and I know Northwood music is going to be in good hands with you all, though I hope I can still get to march with you guys next fall. My Parkland Middle and Brookhaven Elementary communities. I'm glad I still get to see so many of my past educators and faculty at both because of my 3 other siblings. And though many of you weren't around for the campaign itself, you laid the groundwork for the person I would go on to become. Mr. Shin and Mr. Kimber, I thank you both for being some of the most outgoing principals I have had the fortune of being a student under, and I'll make sure my siblings stay in line for you both. I'll try to make sure I can see her. Miss Cherry. Despite being introduced to you after I broke my ankle at last year's MASC Advance, I seriously could tell just how much passion and dedication you brought serving as director for student leadership within MCPS, and it is unparalleled. For 8 amazing years and counting, you have almost single-handedly carried student leadership in MCPS alongside all the amazing staff at Carver as well, who I couldn't unfortunately go by name. And you molded it into the unmatched superpower student leadership is within Montgomery County, the state, and beyond. And I can rest assured knowing my successes alongside the successes of any current and future student leaders with MCPS will be bountiful with you around. Thank you so much. Second to last, how could I not acknowledge the amazing people I have been and will continue to work alongside? I'm as excited as I'll ever be to get to read all those agendas and memos. And to the board staff, you all are the epitome of the forces behind the scenes of all the boards functioning. And though I've only been around for about a month now, it really does feel like it's been such a welcoming place to be with the amount of hospitality I've been met with, and I hope that continues to stay the same going into next year. And this is for the final stretch. There is one more group of people I would like to acknowledge who I believe are pretty quintessential for our function as a school system. The 156,000 students of MCPS. Unfortunately, we couldn't fit all of you into this boardroom tonight, and unfortunately, I can name all 76,141 middle and high school students who make MCPS the dominant institution it is. But every single one of you is the reason I'm standing here. Because while the oath I just took a few moments ago was meant for one person, this position has always belonged to every student across Montgomery County and has been for the past 48 years, now across 49 SMOBs. This next year is by no means going to be easy, but one thing I've learned throughout this journey that I've held on to since I started running is that leadership isn't measured by the title you hold or the power that comes with it. It's measured by the people you inspire to believe they belong here next. Because maybe somewhere tonight or sometime in the future, there's a leader, activist, or even future SMOB who hasn't discovered student leadership yet. And if that's you, I hope you know this. Stand up for what's right, even when it's not the popular choice, even when people tell you to back down and yield, and one day, this oath can belong to you too. Because another 50 years from now, nobody's ever gonna remember every meeting we attended or every vote we cast on the board. They'll remember whether we left the school system better than we found it. And that is the responsibility I accept tonight. And that is the promise I make to all 156,050 students, nearly 14,000 educators, and 12,000 faculty and staff members of MCPS going into next year. For the last time, hopefully, for tonight, I thank you all for trusting me with your voice. Now let's rise up to make this next year unforgettable. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lowell. Great remarks. Next, we'll hear from Anuva. Your final remarks.
My final remarks. It's crazy to think that this will be my last time looking out from this perspective, although I will say I'm a bit excited to be in the audience next time. That being said, good afternoon, everyone, and I apologize for my voice. Throughout this past year, amid the many monumental milestones achieved in MCPS history, there were just as many, if not more, difficult decisions that the board had to make. After nearly every work session, I found that the #1 question people would ask me was, did you ever regret serving as SMOB? And what do you all think the answer was to that? No. No is correct. But the only reason for that is because of everyone sitting here on the dais. Those in the crowd, and every text, call, and conversation throughout this past year I have had with everyone in MCPS. To my mother, father, brothers, and friends, thank you for your unwavering support and kindness throughout this year. I owe all of you more than I can ever express, and I know I've brought you so many hardships over this past year, but I am incredibly grateful for your love. To Luca, Zane, Nicole, Peter, Priya, Fallon, Harry, and so many other friends, thank you for your unwavering support, no matter how many times I came to you late at night complaining about another thing that happened at work or something with students. I owe you everything. To Laura, thank you for always being willing to experience something new alongside me. From board events to simply just grabbing coffee, I am so grateful to have served with you. To Carla, thank you for being such a steady presence throughout my experience as SMOB, from always keeping us on track every meeting to picking up my missed motions. I am grateful to have served with you. To Julie, thank you for never shying away from asking difficult questions, from being the first to call whenever we had different perspectives, to talking through every issue with respect. I am grateful to have served with you. To Dr. Taylor, thank you for being a constant pillar of support for both the board and for me throughout this past year. From our TikTok budget video trends all the way up until my graduation, I am grateful to have served alongside you. To Grace, thank you for your heart and the unwavering kindness you have shown me this past year, from exchanging brief smiles during our 8-hour meetings to our chocolate candy runs. I am grateful to have served with you. To Brenda, thank you for being my biggest role model on the board. From helping guide me through many of our most difficult conversations to the reassuring eye contact across the dais, I am incredibly grateful to have served alongside you. To Rita, thank you for always bringing a different perspective to every meeting. You've opened my eyes to many other mindsets, and from resolutions to proposals, I am grateful to have served alongside you. To Natalie, thank you for always finding a way to make me laugh, even after every single 10-hour meeting when we thought we were about to be done and there was another thing added on. Sorry, guys. From the little notes we passed to each other to the countless life updates we shared, I am grateful to have served alongside you. To Elsie, Tom, and Essie, thank you for being some of my biggest supporters throughout my time on the board. I would never have felt prepared to make the decisions I did without your guidance. And Elsie, I am so sorry about all those late night phone calls, truly. To Ms. Cherry, Ms. Rice, and Ms. Dean, thank you for always being my safe place. I owe the success of my SMOB Advisory Council, the relationships I built with so many students across MCPS, and so many of my accomplishments to all of you from the beginning to the end. To Adith and Darlene, thank you for guiding me through every increasing hygiene product obstacle, way too many kept coming up, every SMOB Scope article, and for lifting me up whenever I felt discouraged after facing criticism. To Monica, Patty, Yolanda, Becky, Victoria, James, and so many others behind the scenes, including MCPS TV, Dan, and every single thing you see online, thank you for your unwavering support to the board and for me as well throughout my term. I know that that was a lot, but the greatest lesson I've learned this year is that no one is successful on their own. Behind every single accomplishment is a community of people who believe in you before you even believe in yourself. And so while this moment is certainly bittersweet, I am incredibly excited for the future of our county. I know Lowell will do a great job, and I can't wait to see all of the accomplishments he will have throughout this next year. And at a time when confidence in public education is declining across the nation, I stand here as someone who is immensely proud to be the product of an MCPS education, and that is because of all of you here today. The school system shaped who I am, gave me the opportunities I never imagined, and trusted me to represent over 160,000 students. It has been the honor of a lifetime to serve as the 48th student member of the Board of Education for MCPS. Thank you all.
So thank you, Anuba. The board appreciates the passion and student-centered advocacy that you have brought to the board this year. I also want to bring you greetings from Grace. Grace was detained. Her flight was canceled from yesterday, and she's still trying to get back to Maryland as we speak. And Julie, she's off doing her mother duties, which, as you know, have to come first. She's getting her daughter settled in medical school. So they wouldn't have missed it other than that. You know that. Now, we have a few small gifts for you.
Oh my God, I get gifts.
But before I do that, I do want to notice that we have been joined by Shebra Evans, former board member and now council member. You know, I hate these goodbyes. I really do. I really do. I'm not good because I cry. But I do have some gifts for you from the board.
Aww.
You're very own. Yes.
I get a tote bag?
Yes, you probably already have one, but you get another one.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, I put apple crisp in here too. Her favorite snack.
So, with that, I'd like to open up the floor for any of my board members who might want to make remarks. And I start with Rita. Go ahead.
Thank you. I just want to thank you, Anuba, for the grace that you showed and demonstrated for all of us, including the adults in the room, through some really challenging, not just discussions and decisions, but just engagements. This was a really challenging year, as a lot of you know, and it was challenging as an adult, but as a student who is living these decisions in a way that we are not. I was just so impressed with the grace that you carried yourself with, and I just appreciate that for you, and I know that you're going to do amazing things when you leave here. So thank you so much for all of bringing that to the board table and being such a wonderful example for all of our students. And I look very much forward to working with you, Lowell, throughout the year.
Natalie?
Thank you. Anuba, I am so incredibly proud of you. And it is such an honor to have been any small part in your story. and especially thinking about how this year is one year in the so many that you will have that will be impactful for not only students, but really for the world, that I just have such strong faith that you are going to be able to create whatever movements and go wherever you believe you will go. I just really admire that about you. I admire your tenacity and how you connect with so many people. And this year, as mentioned, was not an easy year. Not to brag, but I got my first gray hair. I know. But it was just really wonderful to be able to serve that beside you and to be able to play that role with you during this. And for that, I'm just, again, without other words to say, I'm very, very, very proud of you. I'm just excited to see where else life takes you. And for Lowell, you have some big shoes to fill, but I am certain that you will be able to fill them in your own way and to be able to take on this role as yourself. And I look forward to seeing you show up and grow into this role as well this next year.
Laura.
This is hard for us, and yet also it's a celebration. It's a celebration that Anuva is moving on to other great things from a great start right here at the Board of Education. I remember when I met you, when you were leading the DCC-NEC coalition, and I thought, wow, she has so much energy and this drive to better the world. And I could see that right away. So I was so excited when you got to be on the board because I knew you would continue that. You were always prepared. You held to your values and you were so brave. And I actually sometimes thought about you when we were tested. I'm like, you know, if Anuva can go and do this every day, we can do it. So the student board member, I think, always brings such a great perspective because they are actually in the schools every day. And I appreciated hearing from you and your experience and your fellow students' experience. Again, I think you're going to do awesome as you leave here, and I'll miss you. Actually, I'll miss your style too, because you brought a panache to the board. It was great. But I am very happy that Lowell will be here. Again, I enjoyed watching you grow over the last year, and I know you're going to be an amazing addition to the board. And I have to say, go DCC while we still have it. And I love that you're a fellow band geek. So I look forward to seeing you lead us in some great discussions. And I guess that's all I have to say. So again, it's a happy and a sad occasion, but I feel really hopeful. So thank you.
Carla.
Good afternoon, everyone, and just wanted to thank Anuva for a wonderful year of service. Certainly done a fantastic job elevating the student voice to the public, but also to us as your board colleagues. As I got to know Anuva, you know, spending all this time preparing for board meetings, going out into the community, she's got a whole other world life on social media, keeping up with constituent concerns from the students via social media. I knew it was a lot. And I also knew that she was doing college applications, finishing up strong as a senior at MCPS. Then I learned she was also a competitive swimmer. That means a lot of time getting up early and going to the pool. And then most recently, I learned that she's also a classical Indian dancer and has devoted years and years of preparation. And so I continue to be impressed with everything that you are, and I so much look forward to following your trajectory as you go on to UMD as a proud auntie, continuing to see you flourish. And thank you to the family for everything that you have done to bring Anuva to this place, and it's been an honor to serve with you. Your
I think as a colleague, I really admire your thoughtful, calm approach that you brought to all of these difficult decisions, and also your mission focused, really staying focused on your values and what we are here to do for their community and for our students and families. So we're going to miss you, but thankful that you're not going too far away. We know where to find you. Lowell, I so look forward to getting to know you, meeting you, and just hoping that you get to enjoy junior year. You are in a great school system. Junior year is wonderful and important. And so look forward to working with you, get to know your colleagues, because as the wise Brenda Wolf always says, it takes 5 votes to get anything accomplished. So thank you.
Dr. Taylor, would you like to share a few words?
I certainly would, and I'll be brief.
A few words. So
that I'm additive and not repetitive. But 48, you were pretty great.
Yeah,
you really were. And it's been such a privilege to get to know you and to get to know your family and to be a small part of your movie. You really have elevated the voice of students in the county in a really meaningful way. When tough decisions were on the table and needed student voice. I think it's been said already about your dedication and your courage and your commitment to the school system. But beyond all of that, and this is something that I don't think a lot of people have mentioned about you, but is so true, your depth and breadth of knowledge in this work, and how absolutely committed and hardworking you have been throughout. I have a small token of appreciation. It's a book, because I'm a teacher, and that's what we do. But just know that how very much you were appreciated and how much you're loved on this board. And Lowell, it was mentioned that you have big shoes to fill. That was metaphoric. It was not literal. They're actually very tiny shoes, literally. But we know that you are stepping in at an equally challenging time, and there's going to be a lot on your plate. But we are proud of both of you. And it's a good year to be a SMOB. Your state counterpart, Lorena Wu from Poolsville, gets to work with you. It's a great year to be a SMOB from Montgomery County, as they'd say. And so for whatever it's worth, you have a network of people that are here to support you. Please learn from the fantastic SMOBs that have come before you. And just know that we are in this together. Welcome to the family. Anuva, my friend, my boss, you've been a great boss. You will always be a part of the family, and just know how much we're appreciative of you. Thank you. Congratulations.
Anuva, I get the final word, I guess, and I'm going to keep it short because everything's already been said. This has been a tough year, and you have demonstrated courage and grace under all of the decisions that we've had to make. I know that you represented the students here well. I know that you didn't always vote the way they wanted you to, but you made the decision based on your own conscience, and that was important. And Lowell, welcome to the board. I know that you'll do a great job because you said something at the end that was very important, and you acknowledged all of the people that helped you get here. That's very important. As Anuva said, remember that it takes a village to get this work done. So welcome to the board. And right now, we would like to invite everyone to join us on the 3rd floor for some light refreshments. This concludes our session this afternoon. Thank you.